Savannah, Georgia, claimed to be the most haunted city in America, is a city built on its own dead. It is a place where the geography of the living is laid directly over the geography of the forgotten. But of all the squares in the Forest City, Monterey Square holds a crown jewel that is as cursed as it is beautiful. Standing at 429 Bull Street is the Mercer Williams House. To the casual tourist, it is a masterpiece, a red brick marvel of tall windows and intricate ironwork. To the literary world, it is the stage of the Gothic non-fiction masterpiece, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. But to those who know the history of these floorboards, the house is something else entirely. It is a vessel, a container for a century of trauma, accidental death, and a high society killing that blurred the lines between justice and the supernatural. Today we go behind the iron gates to ask, who still walks the halls of the Mercer Williams house? Part 1, Blood in the Foundation. The darkness of 429 Bull Street didn't start with a murder. It started with a failure. Construction began in 1860 for General Hugh Wheaton Mercer. But before the roof could be finished, the American Civil War tore the country apart. Mercer, a man of war, never saw his dream completed. He was forced to sell the skeletal remains of the house, a hollow shell that sat waiting for a soul. For decades, the house seemed to reject those who tried to tame it. But the first true sacrifice occurred in 1913. A young boy named Tommy Downs. He's in the unfinished attic, possibly playing with a ball or just exploring. There's a skylight, a fragile barrier of glass. In a split second, the glass shatters. Tommy falls, his body hitting the floor several stories below. Advancing forward to today, the house is finished, but it had been paid for in blood. To this day, tour guides and visitors claim that if you stand in the foyer in total silence, you can hear the sounds of child's footsteps running across the ceiling, followed by a chilling, distant thud that vibrates through the floorboards. Part 2, Jim Williams and the Midnight Shooting. In 1969, Jim Williams, a high society antique restorationist with a Midas touch, bought the house. He spent 2 years turning it into a masterpiece, filling the house with fabric eggs, pipe organs, and history. He threw the most exclusive Christmas parties in Savannah. But by 1981, the masterpiece became a crime scene. Tuxedo-clad high society Jim Williams had a shadow. His name, Danny Hansford. Blonde hair, rugged, and muscular. Stark contrast to Jim. Danny was young, volatile, and described by many as walking local color. Their relationship was a powder keg of passion and violence. On the night of May 2nd, 1981, the keg finally exploded. Inside the study of Mercer Williams' house, 3 shots rang out. When the police arrived, Danny Hansford lay dead on the antique rug. Jim Williams claimed self-defense. He claimed Danny had fired a Luger at him first. But the forensic evidence told a different story, one of a staged crime scene and cold-blooded execution. For nearly a decade, Williams fought the law. It took 4 separate trials, an unprecedented feat in Georgia history. But he is finally acquitted in 1989. He returned to his beloved house a free man. But it turns out the house wasn't finished with him. In January 1990, less than 1 year after his final trial, Jim was found dead in his study. He had collapsed in almost the exact spot where Danny Hansford had bled out 8 years before. The official cause was pneumonia and heart failure, but the locals whispered a different theory. Danny had come back to exact his revenge and pulled Jim across the veil. Part 3. The Modern Haunting. Since William's death, the house has remained a museum, but the staff aren't the only ones there. The hauntings of 429 Bull Street are not just feelings, they are physical. Multiple witnesses have reported seeing a man in a tuxedo standing by the window during the holidays, as if Jim Williams is still waiting for his party guests to arrive. When the witnesses look back, the figure's gone, but the heavy scent of expensive cigar smoke lingers in the air, even though smoking has been banned in the museum for decades. But the most terrifying reports come from the dead zone. Near the study, visitors have described a sudden crushing weight on their chest, an overwhelming feeling of anger that vanishes the very moment they step out of the room. Some have even captured photos of a tall, blonde, young, fit man, much like Danny Hansford's description, is seen standing in the reflection of the ornate mirrors, glaring at the living with a look of pure, unadulterated rage. The Garden of Good and Evil. Is the Mercer Williams house truly haunted? Or does the weight of its history simply play tricks on our minds? In Savannah, the line between the past and the present is thin. When you stand outside 429 Bull Street at night, looking at those glowing windows, you realize that Jim Williams got what he wanted. He wanted to live forever in his masterpiece, and perhaps in the most literal, terrifying sense, he still does. Next time you find yourself in Monterey Square after the sun goes down, keep your eyes on the upstairs windows. If you see that curtain flutter or a shadow move, maybe don't stay to investigate. Because in this garden, the dead don't just sleep, they watch. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much.